Everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be my foundation routine that covers acne, that is long wearing, that is waterproof, sweat proof, that just lasts me all day long. And basically all these products are holy grail products that I would recommend to everyone. So this is my second time trying to film it. For some reason the lighting in the first time wasn't looking so great. Unfortunately, I am not breaking out as much as I was during that first time, which is the only time you're going to hear me complaining about, oh, I don't have much acne right now. But with that said, I do have some clips that I will be including so you can see how much the coverage was great. But like I was saying, for some reason with the zooming and everything to show you my skin texture especially, the lighting was kind of off. So, are you ready? Let's do this. So first step is going to be to apply a primer. I'm currently just using a moisturizer that will prep my skin for anything. If you want to wear like full coverage especially, I always recommend to make sure your skin is properly exfoliated and moisturized, otherwise that's when you can get dry patches. Even if you have oily skin like I do, you can still have dehydrated skin, which usually that's where you get those dry patches. So I've been using this one. This is the Urban Decay Makeup Rehab Prep Hot Spring Hydrating Gel, and I really like it because it's a super lightweight gel. It sinks into your skin like instantly, and it won't affect the consistency of your foundation. The star of the video has to be this foundation. This is like holy grail status. I used this when my skin was dry. I'm using it now that my skin is oily. It's full coverage but yet still looks natural. You can build it up to like being super intense, or what I usually prefer to do is use a beauty blender. That way it's a little bit more thin, and wherever I feel like I need more coverage, I'll add either a second coat or add a little bit of a concealer just so it looks extra natural even in person. It also photographs well. It's just like a holy grail, and it is the Lancome. This is the Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. I am using the shade 220C. They have a great range of color. I'm always raving about it because they have like 40 shades and they have W, N, and C, so warm, neutral, and cool undertone. You're going to be able to find a shade there. It's awesome. This is like almost empty. Like you can see, like I'm like right there. So I have been using this so much and I really like it. So let's apply this. So like I was saying, I use a beauty blender. It makes it a little bit thinner. If you use a brush, it'll definitely be a little bit thicker, a little bit more coverage, but I like how natural I can make it look while still giving me a ton of coverage. So this is just a thin layer. You can already see that most of my imperfections are covered. Like I was saying earlier, I don't have a lot of breakouts right now, so I will be including clips of the first time I had filmed it, even though the lighting wasn't so great. But like most of everything I want cover is covered. I would add a little bit of concealer or just add a little bit more, which I'm going to be doing just to show you, but you can definitely see the difference. The coverage is great. And the best part is the fact that it stays all day. Whenever I have like 12-hour days and I'm like, okay, I need my makeup to still look good in 12 hours, this is a foundation that I use because it stays all day. I have oily skin, so I do have to powder my skin afterwards and then reapply powder, or maybe like use a little bit of a paper just to control the oil, but literally nothing will stay on my face for 12 hours. So this has been like a lifesaver, which is probably why it's almost empty. I just wanted to super zoom you so you can actually see the texture of my skin. I'm obviously not using any skin filters or anything, so you can see how it looks amazing. Like this is just one thin layer and most of everything is covered. You can see a little bit of the color of this leftover pimple peeking through, but it's just one thin layer with a beauty blender. This is just awesome for me, and knowing that it's going to stay like that all day is just amazing. But it doesn't emphasize any of my pores, and it just looks flawless. So I'm going to apply just a little bit more wherever I need it, but this was 2 pumps. If I had just a tiny little bit where I need it, you can definitely build a coverage. Like you can see, I could use this as a concealer. So if you were looking for like one foundation that would be sweat proof, waterproof, that you could wear all day, even if you have really oily skin, I would definitely recommend going with the Lancome one. I've been like super impressed. I've had like this bottle for like less than half a year, like just a couple months, and I've been going towards it. Like I keep trying other things, but every time I need something that's gonna be foolproof, I always end up going back towards this Lancome foundation. It's just, my thing. I don't really need much more coverage in this, but just for the sake of a video, I like to give you options. My holy grail face concealer has to be the Makeup Forever. This is the full cover concealer. I have the shade 5, can't really see it anymore, but again, they have a kind of good range. They tend to add more colors. I hope they're going to keep doing that because they need a few more dark shades, but this, again, full coverage, doesn't look like too cakey, too like unnatural, and waterproof, sweatproof. It will stay no matter what. Makeup Forever has a great range for anything that is waterproof. They do a lot of the makeup for girls that do synchronized swimming, so they have waterproof things for sure. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. The color isn't perfect for me right now, but I just want to show you. If you're more on a budget, I would definitely recommend trying the Maybelline one. They have the, I'll include the picture. Maybelline has a great concealer that I would recommend either for a dupe of this or even the under eye concealer that I'm going to be wearing. I'm going to link the videos that I've done about them. Fantastic drugstore concealer for sure. I'm just going to add a little bit here too. But like pretty much anything else is just covered enough that I don't need to add any more. Next concealer is going to be for under my eyes, and I have been falling in love with this. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer. I have the shade Light. The range of color is not really good. I feel like everything is very, very yellow based except this one, and I'm just lucky enough that it matches me. So if you are looking for a great under eye concealer, I definitely recommend it. I was super skeptical, but again, I did a video where I wore it all day if you want to see it in action, and it's definitely really, really good. Personally, I think it's very full coverage, so I only need to apply a few little dots. If you want something super intense, you could like go full on contour with this, but you really don't need that much with it. And plus, the less you apply, the more natural it looks, which is definitely something I'm into. So just gonna apply like 2 little dots and it's gonna be enough. And like worst case scenario, it's much easier to add a little bit more than to try and remove some. Once again, I like to use a beauty blender. I feel like it just gives you the most natural finish. By the way, if you're applying concealer, always recommend to make sure to apply some here because definitely the place that's going to make you look tired the most. Like if you forget to do it, it just doesn't do as well. It just... So as you can see, just those 2 tiny, tiny dots definitely covered everything on a daily basis. This is more than enough. If you want to apply more for a really full coverage, like super intense and like pictures, for example, you can add more, but like to me, this is just perfect. That's all I need. Just to show you that it's buildable, I'm going to apply a little bit more. Again, you don't need much. And then with what's left on my beauty blender, I just kind of contour with it. I just apply a little bit in between my brows and down my nose, just to highlight a little bit. And then to set everything in place, I've been using the Cover FX. This is the matte setting powder in the color Light. And I apply it using the Too Faced Mr. Right powder brush. I just really love that brush. If you like to pack on powder, I would recommend getting the e.l.f. one. This is the e.l.f. powder brush. It definitely helps to just pack it on. But personally, I like, again, the natural effect, so I just like to apply a little bit, and then if I need to reapply during the day, I really don't mind. And to set my under eye concealer, I use the same powder, and then I use the Sigma. This is the F64. If you feel like you've overpowdered or you feel like your skin is looking a little too dehydrated, I would recommend using a makeup setting spray. A really popular one is the Urban Decay one, but personally I really like the Body Shop Vitamin E Face Mist. I feel like this one is very hydrating without making you more oily, so I'm just going to apply a little bit. This is great throughout the day. You just put it in your purse and it's really refreshing.
I'm adding here some clips with the first time I tried to film this video. Here you can see the before after. I was breaking out. You can see how well everything was covered after. You can see the acne better in this clip. The lighting is better. It's more natural, so nothing is blurred out. And then here there's a close-up of the after so you can see the skin texture. It ends up being super natural for a full coverage foundation routine.
I never know where to end a foundation routine. I feel like some people add the contour, the cheek product, some others don't. I might as well, just for fun. These are not necessarily called waterproof, but I've never had an issue with them disappearing on me. Like, I know some powder blushes or bronzer, for example, after a couple of hours, especially if you have oily skin, they'll just be gone. Hasn't been an issue with them, so they're definitely part of my everyday type of makeup. For my bronzer, I like to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer. I feel like it's very light but buildable, so it's very, very easy to make it look very natural. Brushes, I go back and forth between a couple ones, but I've been using this one. This is the Firma 101. I also like, I believe the 102 is just a bit smaller than this one, so I just apply it. Basically on the edges of my face to kind of contour a little bit, or just apply where the sun would hit me naturally. It's fully matte, it's not overly pigmented, it's not orangey, it's perfect for my skin tone. Blushes, I'm constantly using different ones. I have been using this one. This is the Balm Beach. This is what it looks like. It's just a light matte peachy kind of pink. It looks kind of boring in the pan, but it's perfect for every day. And I'm using the Firma 103 brush. Highlighter, I've been using the LA Girl Velvet Highlight Contour Stick in the color Luminous. I just apply it with my finger. If you want your highlighter to stay no matter what all day, it's great to layer a cream one and then apply a powder one on top. If you tap it, it won't affect anything you applied underneath. So you can see it's a super natural glowy highlighter, and it's very affordable too. So this is the final result. As you can see, my foundation covered everything I wanted, and it looks flawless, and it still looks natural. It still looks like skin. It doesn't tend to overemphasize any pores or anything, and I'm not using any skin filters, so this is just what my skin looks like. You can't really cover any skin texture, but you can definitely cover any color. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my foundation routine that covers acne, that is long wearing, that resists water and sweat. The videos I was referring to during the video will be a link on the screen, so you can go and watch them if you want to see more. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and not miss any future ones, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!